My husband Tesa and I are still praying for all of you. It is such a blessing for us to be able to interact with all of you on our page every single day.
Yes.
And we just want to say thank you for just all of the love and support that you've given us. And so, again, we're still praying for you. And if you want to send us a specific prayer request, be sure to send us a DM. I'm going to try to wave back at everybody here in a second. So today, Pesa and I were just sitting here talking about what do you do when you have a disagreement with your spouse and you just feel like turning away from them instead of turning towards them?
Okay.
Because, I mean, like, for me, I had this problem with doing the silent treatment for a long, long time. Sometimes I still do it. I guess we'll let Pesa be the judge of that. But I think it's better now than it used to be.
Yes.
But anyways.
Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, like, I would just not talk to him, and yes. I feel like Satan, that's the moment when Satan is like whispering in your ear to tell you, like, okay, you know what, you're right. Yes. Your spouse is wrong, and just keep turning away.
Yes.
You know, like, you'll always get that. That's like the one time, like, Satan will always convince you that you're right.
Yeah.
It seems like in every other area of life, Satan will always try to fill your mind with doubt.
Like you're wrong.
Yeah, like Satan will always tell you like just really bad things about yourself and try to make you doubt yourself and doubt your marriage and doubt your spouse and all those things. But like, it seems like when we have a disagreement, that is actually the one time when Satan is like, you know what, you're right. And he is so wrong on this issue.
And this does, like, even your marriage doesn't really matter.
Right, right. Like, that's the moment when he tries to start attacking the marriage.
Yes.
And so we just want to encourage all of you, if you feel like you're in that position right now where, like, for some reason you just feel like there's this huge target on your marriage and Satan is attacking it right now. You know, we're praying for you guys, and just always remember that it's better to turn towards your spouse than to turn away. And I know, like for me personally, that was really, really hard. That was, and it still is.
Yes.
It's still a challenge for me.
So instead of, I see Rosie said, she turned away from me today. So you're saying actually the best thing is to come closer?
Yeah, I mean, well, you've always been really good at that because, like, he's the mature one. And so it's like when we have a disagreement, he's always the first one to, like, you know, come and give me a hug and just be like, oh, it's okay, you know, we can talk about this. And so me, like, stubborn me with my silent treatment and everything, I'm so, like, I feel so bad. I'm usually the one who does not want to talk.
Yes.
Like.
And sometimes some people actually want to be given a space, because I was talking to a friend of mine and he said that at that time his wife is just want to talk, but at that time he actually feels like he needs space. But you can, as a couple, you can say, okay, it's going to be 5 minutes, it's going to be 10 minutes, I don't know, but you have to find a way to come back.
Exactly.
Because at that time,
I see overcome evil with good. That's awesome. I see that.
Yeah.
Didn't mean bug him, just let him enjoy his silence. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is kind of tough. I mean, like, if your spouse wants a little bit of space, then I totally get that, because that's always how I feel. Like, if he's upset about something, I just have a tendency to just let him have that silence and just, you know, I leave him alone.
Yes.
But it doesn't really seem to matter, like, it doesn't matter, like, how upset I am. He always has the courage. Like,
I don't know how I was able to do that, because, like, remember last week we were at Walmart and
that was embarrassing.
Yeah, can you tell me that story?
I don't even remember what we were
Yes.
like, I don't know. We were arguing about something. I wanted to buy a thing, I guess, and he didn't think we should buy it. And so it turned in like we blew it up into this huge thing, like right in the middle of Walmart. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. I mean, and we were not even able to come to a compromise. He just decided like, okay, you know what? We are actually gonna go home and have a good rest of our evening. Like we're gonna go home and watch Netflix and chill out and have a good time. And at that moment when he was saying that, I was literally like walking through the store like this. It was so embarrassing. But that's what we did. We ended up having a really good evening.
Yes.
And I think like you deserve the credit for that, because like
it's just prayer.
If it were up to me, we probably would not have had such a peaceful ending to the evening, which is terrible. I'm working on it.
And we have a question. Can you read that?
How can I be patient as a partner as he learns to be there and be supportive? Yeah. So how do you think like she can practice patience? Because I'm also I'm working on it too.
Yes. How can I be patient as my sometimes this can be very challenging when you are thinking in terms of I need to be patient. But if as you guys are going through this journey of you need to be patient if there's specific things that he is trying to learn, and I also teach my partner to be there for me also. If there's specific things that he or she needs to learn, and you can work with him as he's learning those things, like self-control, instead of just blowing like in anger. If there's something has been said, maybe you guys can, I don't want to say the word time out, but find a way to say, okay, I've had couples who even set the timer. They set the timer for 20 minutes. And it sounds childish, like, okay, why do we need to set the timer? But sometimes you need that reminder that, okay, the time is gone, the 20 minutes is done, and now we need to come back and like talk about this, or just be close to each other. Something else has really worked well is the praying together. Like, so after the 10 minutes or 15 minutes is done, coming back and praying together.
I think that's such a great idea.
So you are not just like trying to figure things out, but just praying together at that time can really take out the drama down.
Oh, we have another. My marriage is being attacked. I would have dreams about leaving and divorcing my husband, and I keep having bad dreams, internal conflicts, and heat in my chest. Well, we're so sorry to hear that.
Yes.
And really, I mean, and you would hear the Holy Spirit. Okay. Yeah, I think that what you're explaining goes perfectly with that, because if you're willing to just sort of hit the pause button in those moments when you're feeling like really, if you're feeling upset or you're feeling like, okay, Satan is attacking our marriage right now. If you're willing to just take that little time out, and even if you're by yourself, even if your spouse isn't there, you can take that break and calm down and pray about it. And if your spouse is there with you at the moment, if you guys can pray together, that's even better.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that's something that has really helped us a lot.
Yes. And that thing about the bad thoughts. Okay, your mind, you're having a lot of thoughts, and a friend of mine reminded me, like, okay, even if you're having these thoughts, are you gonna be feeding these thoughts, these crazy thoughts, or are you gonna deny them your attention? So, and he reminded me that, okay, you have to have a system where once you have these quote unquote bad thoughts, how can you stop them? And he was saying, okay, you need to just hit reset. And he was just saying, okay, you hit reset, or whatever you want to do, you hit reset and remind yourself, like, okay, I will make this marriage work. I will make this marriage work. So you're literally focusing, like saying, I'm going to make this work.
Like I'm in charge.
I'm in charge. I'm going to make this work. At that time, it might not feel like you're going to make it work, because at that time, the devil is attacking you, and you actually feel like there's no way you're going to make this work. But you just hit a reset button and say, okay, I'm going to make this work. God help me through this. This is crazy. I know I should not be thinking like this, but I made a commitment. I know she's upset right now. This is crazy, but I'm going to make this work.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
keep doing that. And although, yes, I'm sorry to hear that it's so close to leaving, but we've seen so many stories here at Live Your Best Marriage where actually people who are about to leave or who are already left come back.
They do.
But you cannot be feeding that thought of like, and like growing the thought of like, oh, he's leaving. This is not about being in denial, but at the same time, putting your attention on making things work, not putting your attention on being like losing the power to actually control anything.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us struggle with that. I mean, if Satan is, like, it's almost like it really as if it's like Satan is whispering in your ear, causing so much doubt. And honestly, when you try to focus your attention on,
Yes.
the good things and staying in control in
Yes.
that situation, I mean, that's the challenge.
Yes.
But,
And
what you hear, if what you hear is from the Holy Spirit, there should be total peace. Okay. I agree.
yes, I agree.
I agree with you.
But sometimes we forget that just because we are Christians does not mean everything will be super easy. And even if when you read in the Bible, all like the greats, and Paul and all those people in the Bible, the prophets and all that, that did not mean they had a super easy life. So the fact that we are having trials and tribulations, that does not mean we are less Christians, right? So yes, if you're hearing from the Holy Spirit, yes, it should bring peace. But let's not forget that just because you're a Christian does not mean everything will be super easy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And sometimes actually it might be harder.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yes,
it
yes.
can be. It can be very challenging. So one thing that I think the biggest takeaway that we can share is just, when you are having those moments of conflict, or even if you're in a disagreement with your spouse, we would encourage you to try to turn towards one another. Yes. Rather than turning away.
Yes.
And like I said, I mean, in all transparency, I mean, sometimes that's a challenge for me. I have that tendency to just, quiet down, not talk, like turn away. But and he's the mature one. He turns toward me. But if you can pray together, I think that that is just such a powerful thing for a husband and wife to be able to do.
Yes.
So,
even if there's talk about divorce, talk of divorce, I'm sorry that you're saying that there's also talk of divorce. Yes. Praying together, even when it doesn't make sense. You see, sometimes we think, oh, I can only pray when I think it makes sense.
Exactly.
Sometimes
that's the challenge.
Yes, when it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
when it just like, oh my God, this whole thing is already gone. You don't know what God can do, and just praying. And sometimes even if you feel like you're just going through the motions. Yes. Even if you feel like you're going through the motions, and we've seen wonders where actually a couple comes together and just, again, going through the motions.
Yeah, sometimes you might. I mean, your feelings might not always.
Yes.
I mean, you won't always feel happy.
Yes.
Like 100% of the time.
Yes.
So yeah, sometimes you do.
Yeah, some people like if you're suffering from depression, you might not feel like, oh my God, I'm excited to just be hanging out with my spouse and praying and doing all these exciting things. But sometimes, as you know, you'll just have to go through the motions.
Exactly.
Some seasons are just like that.
Exactly. And that's why my husband and I are Christians, but for him, personal relationship with God is individual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say loudly?
Okay, so she's saying her husband, they're both Christians, but for him, personal relationship with God is individual. So yes, your journey with God is
individual,
is yours as an individual. But also you can have that shared journey as a couple.
Yes.
Though.
Yes, you can have that shared journey as a couple. And remember, just although you have your personal relationship with Christ, that does not mean you should neglect your family. That is, yeah, yes. Although you're having a personal relationship with Christ, does not mean you should neglect your family. Yes. So I understand that his relationship, both of you are Christians, and his relationship is personal with God. I get that, but that does not give somebody the out to say, "Oh, my relationship with Christ is personal, so I also don't really have to really like be there for my family," because remember, you guys were joined together. Yeah, you guys were joined together, so let no man bring you guys apart. So, and
you're still a team.
You're still a team. Yes, yes. Thank you for your question. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So, so all right. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Again, if you haven't had a chance to join our prayer list and you want to submit a prayer request, make sure you send us a DM here on Instagram, and we'll be in touch.
And if you're watching this on Facebook, also you can just send us a personal messenger message on Facebook if you want to be added on our prayer list. Again, if you're on Facebook, send us a message. If you're on Instagram, send us a DM.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, and God bless.
Bye, and God bless.